What's up, guys? Today we're gonna make some cold processed soap. That's just some sort of script. I make cold processed soap. It's kind of my thing. The warehouse had some leftover benzoin essential oil.
What's benzoin? What is it?
And some frankincense essential oil. Benzoin is like a dark vanilla scent. It's almost like vanilla extract. It looks like vanilla extract. You need some frankincense. So we're gonna make some cold processed soap today using these two. Let's get it. Cold processed soap, you need two ingredients. You need lye, which is like a very caustic, I don't even know what it is. It's just like a natural ingredient, but you can't touch it to your skin because it'll burn you. And then you're gonna need some sort of oil or fat. I have shea butter and coconut oil, so we're gonna use that today. So we need a, what is this called? We need a scale, a pot to melt your oils in, a little whisk, some sort of plastic bowl that won't melt under the intense heat of lye, gloves, a mixer, immersion blender, and then if you want essential oils and some coloring, I'm using mica, and some spatulas. You do need a lye calculator to calculate how much lye you will use. You can just type in lye calculator. You put in your oils that you want, how much of them, and then it'll spit out a number of lye it takes to saponify your oils. Saponification means that's where soap comes from, saponification. It's when lye mixes with fat or oils and it shrinks the molecules down super hard and makes soap. That's what real soap is. Right now we're doing a 10% super fat, which means there's gonna be 10% of the oils that we're using that are unsaponified in the end. It'll be very moisturizing because coconut oil is very like hard, and if it was just pure coconut oil, it would be very dry in your skin and like, so you want a lot of fat in the end. Let's start measuring out our oils. This is a big thing of coconut oil from the warehouse. Look at this, coconut oil. Ew, it's like water. What is that? So we're gonna put our scale on, measuring in grams. We're doing 650 grams of coconut oil. It smells like coconut oil. You always wanna go like probably like 20 grams over because you're gonna like leave some in the pan. All right, we got our coconut oil measured out. Now we're gonna do our shea butter. We need around 250 grams of this. This can be anything too. You can have any type of different oils or anything. I'm just using shea and coconut because that's what I got right now. I usually use olive oil, but my card declined at Walmart, so I couldn't get it. We're doing 250 grams of shea butter.
That looks cool.
Yeah, I know. And you know, people say you gotta measure it out completely, and I get that, and you kind of do, but it's like people a long time ago, they didn't really measure it out. They just threw it together and made soap, so trial and error. Let's go melt this. Come on, guys. Follow me. So we're melting this on like a medium heat. You don't want to go too high. You don't want your oil too hot. Otherwise, you gotta wait for it to cool down. So you want it around like 100, 110 degrees. Yeah.
How long does it usually take for you to melt your oils together like this?
I think it's like 8 minutes.
8 minutes? Okay.
Depends on what you're melting.
Like, how many different kinds of oils do you use? Today we're using coconut and shea, but like...
I always melt coconut. I always use coconut, shea, olive oil, and castor oil for my main soaps. But for these, I'm out of olive oil right now. So we're just doing a shea and coconut oil bar. So lye is super dangerous, we know. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put on some gloves. Oh wait, I need more gloves. 1 second. Booch break. It hits. So we got like a lye safe bowl. This is like some sort of plastic. Don't use wood, I know that. You can use glass. It'll heat up pretty quickly.
So you use a heat safe bowl.
Heat safe bowl, that's a perfect word, Jenna, thank you. First, we're gonna measure out the water. So there's two things you can do. Since I wanna show you guys what's happening, we're gonna use some ice with a little bit of distilled water, but usually you can just use distilled water and you have to wait for it to cool down because it'll heat up to like 200 degrees. So be very careful. If this gets on your skin or your eyeballs, it will blind you and it will burn. So let's do this. Let me get some ice. All right, so we've tared our bowl, right? Tared our bowl. Tared. We're gonna add, let me look up my calculations. Usually you wanna double if you have like 100 grams of lye, you want 200 grams of water. But if you want it to cure faster, you can do less water. You just don't wanna go below the actual weight of the lye. So if you have 100 grams of water or 100 grams of lye and you do 50 grams of water, it won't really mix. So you need at least 100 grams of water. 134 grams of lye for 10% super fat on my coconut oil soap. And we have almost 300 grams of liquid. Oh my gosh. We're gonna do 200 grams of liquid. So the liquid doesn't have to be exact. It doesn't really matter as long as you have more than your lye, you're good. So we gotta go 200 grams.
Why does it have to be cold? Like, what's with the ice?
The ice, so I think I explained this, if you were listening.
I wasn't. Okay, we can.
You can usually do water. I usually do water. You pour the lye into the water, never the water into the lye, otherwise it'll bubble up. But you pour the lye into the water, it heats up the water, and you have to wait for it to cool down to a certain temperature, around 100 degrees, before you can use it. Otherwise the soap will overheat. So if we use ice, it'll cool down the lye pretty immediately and you can use it right away. Okay, 200? 205, perfect. So we're gonna measure out our lye. Ideally you wanna do this in like a safe cup, because if this gets on your body, then it'll hurt.
So, are you using a drinking cup?
I'm using a plastic cup and I'm gonna wash it out really well. It'll be perfectly fine.
It won't kill anyone.
No, it won't actually, as long as you wash it off. Tara, so we're gonna hit, how much was it? 134 grams. I might do 130. I did 132. Yeah, that's okay. Careful, these like jump too. Yeah, they're very like static. So you want to wear eye protection and gloves, ideally long sleeves. We got our little mixer. We're just gonna dump this on like this. You can see it starts to melt. It'll produce a fume too, so you want to stand back. Isn't soap making fun? Look at that, it's fully liquid now. It melted the ice. It's so amazing. I want to make sure it's fully incorporated. Look away too, I don't want this in my eyes. So this is about fully incorporated. So we should temp this. You want around 100 to 110 degrees for each of your ingredients. If it's over, when you mix them together and you pour it into your mold, your soap will be like, and the heat will try to escape and it'll crack everywhere, which is no bueno. I can tell you right now, this is around like probably 120 degrees, 110 degrees.
I want to feel it.
Feel the bottom. It's not too hot at all.
Oh, it's
because the ice.
the ice.
Careful. Usually it'll get up to around 280 with just water, so it'll get burning hot. We're just gonna use these. I don't even need to temp them. I know they're at the correct temp. By the time we get everything done, it'll be perfect. We got our big batch of oils. Stick my finger in it. It's not hot at all, perfect. And I'm usually sanitary, I'm just touching this batch because I can do whatever I want. Next step is we're gonna get our oils ready. Frankincense and benzoin.
Sure.
I think you want around 45 grams of essential oil, which sounds like a lot. It is a lot, but you need to scent your soap per like 2-pound mold. Those square molds, you want around 45 grams per 900 to 1,000 grams of full soap stuff. So that makes sense. I use 45 grams. So we're gonna get these ready. We're gonna measure them out real quick. So we're gonna tear this out. I need something to measure my oils out. Someone has a full Twix up here.
Are you gonna eat it?
It's not bad. Tara, we'll do 15 grams of frankincense and 30 grams of benzoin. Okay, we're at 16 grams. Okay, that's perfect. We'll do 29 grams of benzoin. This stuff is thick. $48, perfect though. You wanna know why? Because some's gonna be left over in here. You don't want to go too much essential oil or you can burn the skin, but 45 to 60 is perfectly fine. So we got that. If you want to, you can add colorant too. But the benzoate is gonna completely color the soap brown, so this won't even really make a difference. This is just mica powder. This is if you want to. And we're gonna add a little kaolin clay for some creaminess and just more lather to the bar, which is very good. Kaolin clay is just white clay. Gotta plug in my mixer. So we have our oils right here. So we got this in. Lye's ready, oils are ready. 8 grams of kaolin clay. That's just what I usually do per mold. So this time I'm not gonna even measure it out, but we're gonna do 8 grams of kaolin clay, so it's not too much.
Now, is this a time-sensitive process?
This is a time-sensitive process, but it depends on what you're working with. So it's like, if you're using fragrance oil instead of essential oils, it'll super accelerate your process and make this like a brick. But ideally you have like 5 minutes before this starts to congeal once you start mixing. So when we're mixing, right? When we mix the lye into the oil, we're gonna wanna hit trace. And trace just means the mixture starts to thicken up and lighten. And that's when you know you're starting to make soap. Then you're gonna pour it into this mold while it's still kind of jelly and liquidy. And you can kind of do swirls and stuff if you want. So we're gonna start mixing. You wanna make sure your lye is completely incorporated into your mixture. If not, it will burn people. You don't wanna get that on your face. So the lye's poured in, right? We're gonna use one of these spats. Yep. Get all this good lye out of there. Watch out, don't get this on your skin, it'll burn. Set this on the seat. Now we're gonna start mixing. So when you start mixing, right? Can you see it?
Yeah.
Sweet. Watch. Now that's what you want. It's starting to make soap. Now we can start adding our gabagool in. Well, look at that benzoate is completely on the bottom. It's like completely separated, it's super thick. It's almost like honey. Honey. That's why we did 3 grams over, is we're gonna lose some of it in this process. We gotta hurry up, it's starting to thicken. I added my oils, I'm gonna add my clay in now. Oh my gosh, this is not good. Sometimes this happens, you start to freak out, but I'm just gonna do a little dab of it. That's probably around like 5 grams, but who cares?
Nice.
All right, so this is starting to thicken up a lot quicker than I thought. We're just gonna grab the mold. It's all mixed up. We're just gonna pour it in like gabagool. Just like this. Use our little benzoate spatula, not the lye spatula, that would not be good. Sometimes it's more liquidy than this, sometimes it's more thicker than this.
What would happen if you used the lye spatula?
There would be unmixed lye on the spatula and it would be not mixing to the soap correctly.
You've done that before?
No, I've never done that. I'm a pretty safe guy, especially at night.
It's kind of like a mustard.
Oh, it is. It's the same properties. It smells like mustard. Tastes like mustard. Must be mustard. We're gonna get some of this gabagool off here. Look at this, this is perfect. With any cold process soap, right? So it's all spread out. We're gonna stamp it down so all these little trapped air bubbles come up. So you just go like this. See that? Look at that. Those air bubbles. Now we're smooth down, right? Any design you want now, right? So we can start going in with some of these babies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We're gonna have ideally 8 bars out of this. I think that looks pretty cool. So we'll be back in 4 hours to slice this bad boy up.
4 hours later.
4 hours later, guys, we're back. The soap is finally cured. Let's dig in.
Let's take a closer look at that bar.
I have a hat on now too.
It's looking pretty
Look at
good.
this bad boy. Smells like frank and scents. All right, we're gonna mold this. Oh, look at that. I should be wearing gloves, but it's okay. Oh, it does actually smell really good. Get that sweet vanilla. Fun fact, vanilla scents don't stay well in cold process soap. Neither do orange scents, so you have to use a lot more than you think. This is what I use to cut soap. A little soap cutter right here. I'm just gonna cut off the end. You guys wanna hear this? I'll take off my mic. Listen to this. ASMR mode activated.
Roll in it.
Ah, that smells real good, guys. Now we're just gonna cut the bar. Cool. Look at that. It's starting to get almost too hard because it is coconut oil, so luckily we cut it in time. This is gonna be so loud for them. I'm a pro. After you cut them, you want to store them in a dark, colder place. You want to allow at least 3 to 4 weeks for the water to evaporate, called curing. They're safe to use about 24 to 48 hours after you make them, so I could use this in 2 days, but it would be super soft and disintegrate pretty quickly in the shower. So the only reason you cure it is to make it harder and last longer. It's still, if I used it right now, there's still a good amount of lye in there that would probably burn my skin. So wash your hands.
How many bars did it yield?
So this produced around 8. What are they? Around 4.5 ounce bars, or you could do 10, depends on how you cut the mold. If you're giving it to friends, just do 10 bars, you know?
Where'd you get your cutter?
They don't need to know all my secrets. You can use a knife if you want to. And it's easy as cake. That's how you make cold process soap, easy as pie. If you want to learn more about soap making, follow this channel, follow my Instagram, Soaps Made Simple, follow my TikTok, Soaps Made Simple, simply. We'll link them down below. We are officially launching April 17th, so be on the lookout. Love you guys, bye.